Okay. Okay, this is my second attempt at this video. Just switch things around a little bit. Okay, so we're getting ready to do week 7. And then I'm going to if you're following the syllabus, which I do usually very religiously, I'm switching it up a little bit because of spring break. So I'm going to give you guys a heads up the same way I did with my in-person students. So for week 7, for the week 7 agenda, we are doing the chapter 6 PowerPoint instead of chapter 5. We're just going to flip-flop those because of the assignment I want you guys to do. So chapter 6 is deviance and crime. I really like this one. Not that I like deviance and crime, but it's a lot more interesting than the social structure that we had last week. I know that that's something that you guys you should know. Like I've told my in-person classes, I want you guys to be able to have a discussion about these types of situations that they're talking about in chapter 4 in the social structure. When someone says, "What's your master status?" You'll be able to have a conversation, which is kind of why they want you to take sociology in college. The reason they want you to take a lot of classes that don't have to do with your major. They want you to be well-rounded. So this one is over deviance and crime. Our assignment is a crime rate assignment. You're going to, we have 6 questions. You're going to choose 3 large cities, and you're going to answer these different questions. And what you're going to be looking at is the different populations, the different crime rates, the different incomes that they have in these different cities, and if that makes a difference in their crime rates. So this is one of those that you don't even really have to think about. You're just looking things up. But while you're looking these things up, sometimes you go, okay, does this correlate? Is this why? So it's one of those that just gives you the information, and it helps you, maybe recognize things that you might not otherwise see. So that's what we're going to do this week. That's all you have to do this week. Now, I'm pulling back up to my modules here. So that's for week 7. Week 8 is our week before spring break. Yay. So on week 8, we will have our exam, which is why I flip-flop. I didn't want you guys to have any other assignments due, except for the exam and the research paper. So for the research paper, in the module 7, in the week 7, when you pull that up, you're going to have the research paper on there, but it's not due. You will see right below the research paper, it says March 12th. But I know a lot of people like to work ahead, or they might not want to work ahead, but they want to know when it's due. They want to know what's coming up. So that research paper is going to be on this week, but it's not due. It tells you exactly what's expected of you. I gave a paper example. You can download the paper example. I also made sure that I gave you the rubric so you know what is expected of you. This is where looking up those scholarly resources came in handy, because you're only required 2 for this assignment. So if you work smarter, not harder, you use those resources, the topic that you chose for that assignment, and you just write your paper about it. And you already have your resources there. You know where to go. It's only 2 pages. You would be surprised. I had a couple people in my in-person classes who were appalled that I was giving a paper. It's kind of just part of the class. I don't assign a lot of papers. I'm not an English instructor. Please capitalize I. I'm not going to grade you so much on your grammar. I'm not going to do that. I want to see if you can look at some of this research that you've done and speak about that topic at a college level in a paper. So for your research paper, like it says, you'll have a cover page. You will have your 2 pages, which is, it says 500 words. So 500 words, 2 pages, that's pretty much what it equals out to. And then you will have your last page is the scholarly resources. So you only need 2 of those. If you choose a topic from the book, you get to choose any topic from the book. If something like we haven't even done it yet, you've looked ahead and you said, I'm really interested in US stratification. You can totally do it over that, but you can use the book, but it's not considered a scholarly resource. So you do have to have those 2 on there. So those will go on your works cited page, just like we did before. The only thing is I'm going to make sure part of the grade is if you've used APA citations. I give an example. You can look at the paper example that's in there. You'll see how to put the in-text citations. I will talk about this more next week, just to make sure you got the specifics once you look over what is expected of the paper. If you guys have any questions, you can send me an email ahead of time, even though it's not due till the 12th. And then that I also am including a study guide in this week's module, because that following week we will have our exam. And so spring break will start like that Sunday. I will probably still open it up the same way I did before, which Friday to Sunday. If anybody has an issue with that, let me know. I usually always make sure online classes have 3 days, because you are an online class and I want to make sure that you have the chance to do it, which is why you're in an online class. You can always schedule at the right class time. So once you do your exam and that paper will also be due on the 12th, you get your whole spring break and you have nothing to do. So there's a little bit of juggling to make sure that we get everything in, and then you're free to do whatever you want over spring break. Once we come back from spring break, we have a couple more modules. It's kind of all downhill. Kind of like, yeah. So you got this. And if all of this made you a little bit, anxious, don't let it. It's going to be a step by step. I just want to give you guys a heads up so you know what to expect. So the only thing you have due this coming week, week 7, is the crime rate assignment. That's it. And go through the PowerPoint, read the chapter. It's a good chapter over deviance and crime. It's really informative. So if you don't normally read, you might want to read this one. So I think that is all. If you guys have any questions, just let me know, and I will talk to you again next week.